What's up, Nitro gang? Today we're going to run this vintage 1998 to 2000 HPI Nitro RS4. We will once and for all see how great a vintage Nitro 1/10 scale HPI is. Before we fire it up, let me give you a little catch-up, chassis overview, a little information background. This is some of the interesting stuff when you're talking about vintage Nitro. You know, anybody can go out and buy a brand new Arma, but there's no story, there's no history, there's almost nothing interesting about a brand new electric tub chassis that strips diffs all the time. Now this has a full history. This was donated to my channel by a great Nitro Gang supporter, Tarek Curry. Special thanks to you once again. Let's take the body off and we'll examine what this thing has to offer. Under the body, we could take a look at what makes the vintage HPI Nitro RS4 great. This is the 15 FE. It's an ABN style design. I ran this motor when I first got into the hobby. It doesn't have much power, it doesn't have much RPM, but it starts easily, it tunes easily. Special thanks to its single needle carburetor. That's right, you only have to worry about the high speed needle. There is no low speed needle. So you got high speed needle, you got the idle set screw. That's about it. This is as basic as it gets. This particular one does not have a lot of upgrades other than some RPM turnbuckles. We don't even have a belt tensioner. In terms of electronics, we're running pretty much close to stock servos. It's a Futaba servo. The only problem is I did have to get creative with this linkage. Now, rotary carbs do not use a servo horn like this, but for now this is what we're going to use. I've also had to bend the brake cam itself a little bit to accommodate the length of the mounting system. Not ideal. Unfortunately, this is just a one speed, but sometimes one speed is all you need, guys. Now take a look at this, will ya? What does that look like to you? Well, this is what's known as a boost bottle. Long ago, people would attach pretty much like a little vacuum canister anywhere on the chassis and then have it go directly into the crankcase. You could see fuel tubing going directly into the crankcase over here. Now the logic is this equalizes the pressure as fuel and air is entering the carburetor and entering the crankcase. Usually it's drilled in the front as it is on this model, and it equalizes the pressure from the rear of the motor to the front. Now, is it a gimmick? Yes, it's a 100% gimmick. Will we test it out anyway? Of course, that's what the Nitro Gang does, guys. The only other modification on this chassis is this cooling head. This is not the original cooling head from the 15 FE motor. This is a proper HPI upgraded cooling head for this time period. We're also running the original RS4 2 exhaust. In terms of wheels, these are Jayco foam wheels. Now they are a little bit worn, so my ride height isn't as awesome as I would like it to be, meaning I had to put in a lot of shock spacers over here, and now we kind of have a little bit of a firm suspension going on. But there's nothing really I can do about that other than run different tires. In terms of repair, let me just be honest with you guys. You're not going to be able to find a good cheap used one of these without having to fully disassemble the motor. It will most likely 100% be seized. This one was no different. Now the question is, after all of my repairs, take a look at some of these pictures. I had to disassemble the motor part by part, put it back together, replace the exhaust gasket, clean each part, clean the fuel tank. I had to pray that the fuel tank didn't have any leaks. On this one, it seems to be okay. The primer we will test in this video. The question is, do we have any compression, guys? Well, I think we got some sickening compression right here. That's quite good. You're not going to get much more from a 0.15 ABN style engine from this time period. That was quite great compression. Now the body, it has seen better days, but you know what? The king of beers, the butt over here, cannot be killed, just like the Nitro RS4. Fly Sky radio, all set to go. Let's do an electronics check. Here we go, guys. Sickening. Throttle brakes, they also work. Get yourself a Fly Sky GT5. I'll put a link to this radio in the description. The best radio you guys can actually get. Now, I think it's about time to stop talking and fire it up. we're running bones 30%, but in reality you're supposed to pretty much run 20% in these older motors. But for our purposes, I don't have any other fuel, so that's what it's going to be. All right, let's prime it. Convenient primer. I see fuel already entering the carb. I think it should fire up, guys. What do you think? Will it be a first pull, first start? Well, as long as it starts, I'll be happy, okay? Oh yeah, there we go. Low idle, gotta control it a little. That's right, guys. That's what you call a proper nitro start. Look at that. Even the clutch is perfect. The car isn't even rolling away, guys. Sickening. Look at that idle. It's a little on the rich side, it looks like. I see a lot of oil coming out of here. Going to lean it out a little bit. Okay, that should be enough. Boost bottle. We're gonna test it out. Although there's really nothing that I can do to test it out. It either is gonna run okay or it isn't. Sickening. Motor temperature is okay. Not going too fast, just a little bit of a normal test and tune. Still haven't really adjusted the single needle carb, but otherwise the idle is okay. It's a little bit steering has to get adjusted. Oh yeah, the thing wants to drift. It's going crazy already, guys. Did you see that? It felt like it wanted to drift even with the foam. Man, I'm dizzy already. Great throttle response from this motor. All right, we're driving. Not going too fast. All right, we're gonna do a little speed run towards me, okay? Engine spools up, but I can tell the exhaust is highly restricted. The brakes are phenomenal. Myself. Oh, I'm happy. If you smell what the Nitro Gang is cooking.
Girl so fine, but her breath is like, whoa. She say she wanna dance, but she don't know how to move.
Nitro World Order.
Nitro World Order.